Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about the best stock in the stock market. In my opinion, I think this is the best stock to buy right now, or one of them. This stock is Google, ticker symbol GOOGL. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my gosh, he's telling us to buy Google. How revolutionary. No, really, I think that Google is the best investment right now for a lot of other reasons that we're going to get into very shortly, but not purely because of Google, the search engine. That has nothing to do with why I'm buying this company. First off, look at their PE ratio. This is a 27. If we compare this to other companies, we see Amazon right here. It might be hard for you guys to see, it's pretty small, but they have a 33 PE ratio. We look at Microsoft, they have a 38. We look at Apple, they have a 39, almost 40. So a lot of these other companies that are trading in the same sector, very similar space, are trading for PE ratios much higher than what Google is. And I think they should be valued the same. Google's historical PE ratio is a lot higher than this, so you're catching it at a pretty good time right now. This is also Market Dash right here. Both of these metrics were, but this is one of my favorite metrics that they have. If you guys do like this platform and this information, I have a referral code down below. You guys just click that link. You get a 7-day free trial, no obligation to you. But they give, who's actually buying Google, who holds Google. And we see a lot of people are adding to their Google position here. So a lot of people are buying new shares of Google with a lot of money. You see this top guy here is holding Google almost 500 million worth. I cannot say the same myself. I'm holding a lot of Google to me. You aren't buying Google. When you buy this stock, you are not buying Google. Let's make that very clear. You are buying their streaming services. They have YouTube TV, which has been taking off in recent years. They also have YouTube. This is what you guys are watching this on right now. They also have Gmail, which has subsidiaries such as Google Slides, which is what I'm making this presentation on. Google has an ecosystem. They have, even their devices, their Androids, Google Cloud. Like it says here, their ad agency, that is their primary revenue source, but not for long. I think there's going to be something that takes that over. But I mean, just all in all, they have a lot. I mean, this is a company of innovation. This is one that's created an ecosystem that deserves a little bit more respect from the stock market, honestly. I think that a lot of fear around Google is not deserved. I think that maybe, AI can take some market share from their ad agency, but Google is doing a lot more things than that. I mean, you see the ecosystem they've created to where you're probably logged in to your Gmail account watching this YouTube video right now. If you are, drop a like. Also subscribe to the channel. But I mean, probably guess that you are because that's the same ecosystem. And then maybe you're on your Google device and maybe you just bought, a coffee a few hours ago with Google Pay. It's like Apple. They have just a lot of different things. This is a company of innovation. Waymo. Waymo. Yes, this is what I was talking about when I said most importantly, you aren't buying Google, you are buying Waymo. Waymo is an autonomous ride-share service, an autonomous vehicle that picks up people. It's essentially Uber, if you guys are familiar with that, except there is no driver. The driver is the car. So Waymo was initially formed by Google and was known as the Google Self-Driving Car Project. And then after 7 years, it's spun out, and now it's its own company in 2016 to now, present day. And Alphabet remains the majority owner in the company. If I'm not mistaken, it's around 92% of the company is what they own, so they're pretty much the sole owner of this company. A little quote right here that we have from Colsa. We see Waymo is a multi-trillion-dollar global market, and as far as I can tell, there are no competitors that are close. You've got a multi-trillion-dollar business. I totally agree with this. Also, Google, it says they can be bigger than Google's ad business. They're in a position to increase the lead over others. This is very true, and I hope that they do continue to spend money on this, a lot of money, because I think Waymo has a long runway in front of them. There's a lot of things that Waymo can do with this company, and it's very impressive that Google has all of these innovative solutions to problems. OMG, that is the reaction I had when I read this. These are self-driving cars, no human drivers, no unions. So basically, they're talking about with Uber. There's humans have things going on. Humans have families, they have jobs, they have bills to pay. Waymo doesn't. These cars don't have anything to do besides pick you up, drop you off, and then charge. So margins of 50% are not realistic when you consider that driver earnings account for a substantial portion of gross fares in traditional ride-hailing models. So there is a bigger upfront cost with Waymo, where Google essentially has to pay for the car, everything of that sort. But the margins after that are insane. The margins after that initial investment, the return on investment is fairly fast as long as there's good demand, which there is. So I'm very happy with that. Not skeptical at all of what Waymo is going to do. So Waymo can capture about 1/3 of the $1 trillion autonomous rides market. That's if. And it could generate annual revenues of around $300 billion with a 50% margin. That's a neat $150 billion in profits. And what's that worth? At a 30 times earnings multiple, which is what Google usually trades around, I think at this point it would probably be in the 40s. That would imply an additional valuation of 4.5 trillion to the company, which we just saw it's around 2.5 trillion, 3 trillion. So this company is a lot of money. But this would more than 2x the stock price, almost 3x the stock price. This is a older article, not too old. I mean, a couple months. But I think people are starting to realize that Google is running up. Google is on the come up. That is what's happening. And I think that, Google, the more time you give it, the more it's going to run up. That's just what happens with these great companies. Why buy Google? It's cheap. It's a cheap stock. Look at the PE ratio and then compare it to a lot of other stocks in the sector, a lot of other stocks that it's often compared to. It's a very cheap stock. It is not expensive at all. This company just continues to hit all-time highs. It's at an all-time high right now, and its PE ratio is under 30. I've never seen a cheaper stock. Also, innovation. You're buying Google not for just the company, but you're buying it because of the mind behind it. I mean, everything they have, they're always coming up with new things, and you're buying it for the value in that. I mean, as far as, that's off the book value with Google, that's intrinsic value is, you can't even put a price on Google's leadership and Google's team. What they're doing over there at Google is very impressive. I don't see a lot of other companies doing this and having this much innovation. I think there is companies that have similar ideas, but a lot of what Google's doing is very, very, particular to Google. Amazon, they have their ecosystem going as well. Same with Apple, Microsoft. All of these great companies have their ecosystem. That's how you make a great company. For example, like Apple has, every phone in the world. They have Apple Pay, they have Apple TV, there's Apple Messages, and then you go all the way, there's Apple everything. They have every device. They have, a monopoly on the device world. But that's what Google has on the innovation world. Also, they're established. So Google's very established. If you guys clicked on this video and thought that, you were getting the next new big thing that nobody knows about, this dollar penny stock that just got an AI deal with NVIDIA, AMD, and OpenAI, that's not what you're getting. You're getting someone telling you to buy a stock that's established, that's going to provide good returns over the future, and is going to out-return the stock market. That's my goal at the end of the day. I want to outperform the S&P 500, and if I can get that done, then I'm happy. I don't want anything more than outperforming the S&P 500, which is a lot. To be a retail trader and outperform the S&P 500 is near impossible. Not a lot of people do it, but if you can do it, then that is very impressive, and you have a skill, my friend. So that's very important. And then now we're going to get into the investor presentation. So I want to show you guys the numbers that I've been talking so much about. Google, they don't have the prettiest investor presentation considering, some of the other ones I look at, but look at Alphabet's income statement. I mean, they're making a lot of money. Their revenue is growing every single year, or every single quarter, and year. But that's what you look for in a great company. They're consistently growing revenues at a high, rate in the mid-teens is that growth rate for revenue, which is really impressive, especially for a company at this size. So that's very impressive. And then we see Alphabet's revenues and operating income. This is also increasing. Their operating income is increasing very well along with their revenue. So pretty proportional there as well. Alphabet cost of revenues and operating expenses, not that worried about that. But the other thing that I do want to show is how they're making their money. Google search and other is a large portion, and that's what people are scared AI is going to take over. I don't think so. Google's so established that it's probably going to stay. But even if they do, you're going to get a great company for a really cheap price. So always stay open to dollar cost averaging down. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but if it does, then I'm throwing a party because I want to buy Google for cheaper. I want to buy Waymo, and that's a big part of Waymo is Google. That is the only part. So YouTube ads are a big part of that. I don't think AI is taking over YouTube. I know it's not. YouTube has been established for many, many years, and it's a very fast-growing platform that a lot of people use daily. Google Network, we see that as well. That's down 1%, not worried about that. But then subscriptions, platforms, and devices up 20%. People from America, if you guys are thinking, Google devices aren't that popular, Android phones aren't that popular, you need to look across the whole world. When we go, international with this, there's a lot of people with Androids international. That is the phone of choice internationally. So that just goes to show, I think people don't really understand that Google has that kind of market share and they have that kind of, capture on the whole world. So Google Cloud revenues, this is insane, up 32% year over year. I think this is going to continue to grow like this. Amazon has by far the leader in cloud revenue, but I think that Google is definitely catching up here, and Google's offering a lot of things that Amazon doesn't. to say the least. But also capital expenditures, this is going up an insane amount for every single company. This is nothing new. We see capex is increasing with AI. Could be a bubble, could not be. Who knows? Trailing 12 months free cash flow. This is also decreasing, just because a lot of investments in the business. As this time the capex is also increasing. So not worried about that at all. I think that Google is obviously a great investment, as I've been talking about. And let's take a look at the portfolio real quick. The public account. This is the one that I show on YouTube. One of my bigger portfolios. Google. How much Google am I holding? I only have about $900 in Google right now, and just in this one actually. That's just this account though. I'm definitely a bigger Google shareholder in other accounts. But then I also accidentally bought some GOOGL. They're both the same thing, guys. Don't worry about that. Not much GOOGL. But this is one of the accounts where I'm not holding as much Google. That's another private portfolio. I have a lot of Google in there, but I am very bullish in Google. I think also there is people talk about, let's say, robo-taxis. Robo-taxis are making how much money right now? I mean, that's all an idea. I think I'm not worried at all about robo-taxis. Tesla trades on ideas. They don't trade on valuation, which is insane. Their P ratio is almost 300. I mean, Tesla, impressive company with what they've done. I mean, they're up 12% year to date. Past 3 months, they're probably up 40%. I can't knock them. Tesla definitely sold a lot too with the rebate ending. So Tesla's definitely a company that's going to do all right probably in the short term here, but long term, I don't know. And then also robo-taxis aren't going to make money till a long time. And Waymo's already out, and the more they expand, the more money they're making. So that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. I'm going to come out with another video tomorrow. We make daily content. Yesterday I talked about 5 stocks that I'd buy before November. If you guys missed that, be sure to watch that one. I don't talk about Google in that one. This is a completely different stock. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.